JSE Kamov and Gaijin Entertainment presents the Ka-50 Black Shark, a new attack helicopter and scout helicopter for War Thunder. Many features are not yet included. The Ka-50 is capable of launching anti-tank guided missiles not just against tanks, but against, you guessed it, aircraft. Never again will aircraft catch you by surprise, cause sure, you have access to two Bkack anti-aircraft missiles, but it's only two. While they lock by themselves, if something comes at you, if worst comes to worst, just use the anti-tank guided missiles. They can also work excellently against lightly armored vehicles, such as this annoying ATGMs. The missile also has excellent trajectory. So even if you miss the target, you can turn the missile around and then launch against another ground vehicle. Excellent, right? Watch as this anti-tank guided missile obliterates this American tank. Excellent. Each of these anti-tank guided missiles can penetrate 1 meter of armor. That's right, 1 meter of armor, 1000 millimeters. The Ka-50 also has excellent maneuverability, thanks to its counter-rotating rotor blades. The lack of the tail rotor enables the Ka-50 Black Shark to gain an additional 20 to 25% thrust ratio, thanks to the lack of the tail rotor. If you do choose to use the anti-aircraft missiles, they can even lock onto props from the front. Wow, ain't that awesome? The Ka-50 is an excellent ground attack helicopter. Get yours today. In addition, you will also get, if you get it before the live server comes out, the unique Black Shark decal and the Black Shark camouflage. You also have the same 30mm cannon as the PMP-2 and PMP-3. In addition, the Ka-50 has excellent landing gear, so if you need to land in a hurry, if you are under fire, you can land quickly and still fight back. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, Tovarishi, the Russian Ka-50 attack helicopter. Get yours today for $49.95. Pay the tithe to the mighty Godzilla, brah. Pay to win today. Привет, comrades! Sauber here. Welcome back to the Bias Channel. The Bias Channel? I hope that's not copyrighted. Oh well. Howdy, folks. Sauber here. Welcome back to the channel. So, I apologize in advance, but there's not a lot of whole interesting gameplay with the Ka-50. Just me messing around with it. It's not like if you're testing out new aircraft or tanks where you can just hop into a battle. If you want to see how, for example, the Ka-50 would perform in, like, for example, its prime, which would be in a tank and during confrontation, you're out of luck if you're doing it on the dev server. And to deviate a little, oh yeah. I wish I could extract that skin and then just add my other decals to it, but Gaijin's like, niet, comrade. If it's not default skin, you cannot use it in your personal skin. I mean, honestly, I remember that you used to be able to, back in the day, I never knew how to do it, but I was able to get a handful of skins, like, for example, the forest camouflage for the T-34, for example. Someone was able to get it to me through the CDK, but now, supposedly, I don't know how this works, but I guess it's stored server side or something. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if it is still possible, no matter how hard it is, to extract skins through the CDK. Non-default skins, by the way. Not just for aircraft, but for tanks, helicopters, and maybe ships. Maybe ships. But anyway, back on topic. The Ka-50 is... oh yeah, what I was going to say about the battles, because helicopter enduring confrontation is not available on the depth server. Feels bad, man. And I did try doing some tank RB battles, but it seemed like every single game, someone on the other team either spawned an anti-air or an anti-aircraft missile helicopter. Yeah. I was able to get some helicopters, like another Ka-50. I keep wanting to say Ka-52, sorry. A Mi-35 and the like. But all in all, yeah, it was tricky. But anyway, the Ka-50 has an amazing loadout of missiles. And, oh yeah, I definitely can't wait to get the Mi-28H in the future, no matter how long it takes. Although, I don't think I'm going to get this anytime soon, because it takes a while to... I mean, sure, you make easy RP in helicopter EC, but it does take a while. And plus, you have to play several games to get just one helicopter. And as you know, like, I'll play 1 or 2 matches, and then I'm like, I'm good for right now. And plus, as you know, I have other interests than just War Thunder, so yeah, I digress. But interestingly enough, I'm surprised that the Mi-28 can get 8 of those air-to-air missiles, whereas the Ka-50 can only get 2. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if the Ka-50 could actually carry more than 2 of those anti-aircraft missiles, because in my honest opinion, that doesn't sound right. You could easily replace those other 2 or 6 anti-tank guided missiles with those anti-aircraft missiles. But I digress. Interestingly enough, these Vic here anti-tank missiles, I mistakenly called them the Vic here anti-aircraft missiles earlier, so my bad. But as far as I know, this is the only helicopter, Russian helicopter, to get those missiles. And as you see, yeah, no rooms available for this mode. Sorry. But it's the only helicopter that I know of to get those missiles. The Mi-28 doesn't get them, and the Mi-35 doesn't get them, so I'm really curious how those perform in comparison to the attackers. But yeah. Oh, and by the way, I never figured out how to get them to lock on target. I don't know if there is a keybind set, because I never used them in that way. But I'll probably find out sometime in the next helicopter video. But without further ado, oh yeah, the M1A2. I did not see this coming. I honestly thought we would get the the M1A1HA or the M1A1HC. Sorry, my cat is in heat, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. She's fixed, but I don't know what her deal is. But I digress. The M1A2's turret is unpennable, at least by the T80. But the hull, yeah, it's still the same as the M1A1. Now, what I'm curious is, what about Italy? Ariete, BSO. No, okay. Oh, that's the wrong shell. Whoops. The CL3143 doesn't even pen. Let's get point blank. It has a small chance. It didn't knock out any of the crew members by the looks of it. Oh my gosh. But the turret, yeah, thanks to its depleted uranium composites, still can't pen. Now, you can still aim for the top part and... Ooh. Ouch. Yeah, so that part is still dangerous. I really hope that if someone shoots me on the top of the hull, it just ricochets to their gun. I was not expecting that. But one thing I did notice that was mentioned about the M1 or A2 was that for some reason its APU does not work. So maybe they'll fix that in the next patch. But another thing I am interested in receiving in the getting in the future is the BMP-3. This thing looks cool. I mean, it's 100mm cannon, which can fire ATGMs. It's 30mm, and it's 7.62mm. It's like, what more did you want on that thing? And then, interestingly enough, of all things, Germany gets a BMP-1 DDR. I'm surprised it doesn't say GDR, but I guess in German it's DDR. But Yeah, I'm not going to cover all of these vehicles, but those were the 3 ground vehicles I'm really interested in seeing in the near future. But yeah, 1.93 is going to be really interesting. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, one thing I'd like to mention in order to get the elephant out of the room is, as I was making this video, I noticed there was a question and answers from the developer session, and it had this interesting statement regarding helicopters. It says, oh wait, that's the wrong one. I'll read this first. We have many new aircraft and helicopters with multiple loadout configurations. Is it possible you will rework the loadout system to be more clear and efficient, such as a modular loadout section that allows you to see all the options more clearly? Like, for example, you look at the F4 Phantom and it has, what, 21 different loadouts? Now, they're somewhat clear and precise, but for helicopters? Eek! It's confusing. Oh yeah, and to deviate a little, yeah, you saw that. Even ATGMs are ghosts. It's like, you see, it hit Garrett twice. Nothing! Nothing. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that I couldn't figure out how to do the lock-on like Fly did in his video. I personally couldn't figure that out. I don't know if it's something in the options or what, but if you know how to do that, let me know in the comments below in case I missed something or I'm just a complete idiot and missed it in the controls. But anyway, back to the dev blog. The answer was, we understand the problem and agree that aircraft with a large number of suspended weaponry presets isn't very convenient and easy to see. So we plan to improve this system in the future. So that one was good. What this next one was really made me like really facepalm. The question went as follows. Since there are now premium helicopters with air-to-air missiles, is it possible you can improve helicopter battles EC matchmaking so that people with only the first early helicopters, like the UH-1G, Mi-34? Oh my gosh. Mi-4, H-34, Scout, Wasp, and now Owlette too, don't have to face fully advanced air-to-air capable helicopters like the Eurocopter Tiger, H-1 Zulu, Mi-35M, and Lynx. They are almost impossible to counter with lower rank helicopters. This response, while it is a fact, really just triggered me a little. The answer went as follows. This is a very hard task. In reality, when taking into account the low popularity of purely helicopter battles. However, we are exploring possible solutions for this problem. Now, what triggered me about that wasn't necessarily the response, but what makes that hard when they say low popularity? Do they mean that simply not a lot of people play helicopter EC? Or that not a lot of people have helicopters altogether? Or even those, like me, that got the Mi-24D and UH-1 Huey pack way back last year, and maybe not a lot of people have the more advanced helicopters? I don't know. I mean, what kind of makes it interesting to me is how they set this up. It's like, could they have foreseen that this would happen? And what I mean is this. For those of us that bought... Oh, a little lag right there. When we bought the helicopters when they first came out, I got both packs. I wanted the Huey for its historical significance in Vietnam, and I wanted the Mi-24D because, I'll be honest, it looked really cool, and it seemed like they would have a lot more armament preset options than the Huey. I was partly right in that regard, but I won't go too deeply into that. I got both of them because I had saved money for them, and they both costed about $40 each. But fast forward to today with the Ka-50, which I definitely wanted, which I will be honest, I was hesitant on buying the Ka-50 because I wasn't sure if a better option would come out or if there would be a discount because, you know, War Thunder's 7th anniversary. Happy anniversary, War Thunder, by the way. Sorry, I blew a fuse right there. How could I put it? I honestly thought that maybe the AH-64 Apache would be released for purchase. Then I could probably get the Ka-50 and the AH-1. Whereas if assuming, which at the time of the making of this video, I don't know if the AH-1, I keep saying AH, why do I keep saying AH-1? The AH-64 Apache would come out as a premium, which I'll definitely consider getting that, although I'll just have to wait and see in that regard. And the reason I theorize that we might get the AH-64 as a premium, we may or may not, is because of this. I literally, when I mentioned that theory, people were like, Sauber, why do you think the AH-64 will be a premium? Why not get the AH-1W? Or was it the UH-1W? I can't remember. That sort of thing. And I was like, well, maybe because, you know, like when the Eurocopter Tiger came out, they released 3 of them, really. 1 for Germany, which was non-premium, and then 2 for France. 1 was a premium version, and the other was a non-premium tech tree version. But with the introduction of the Mi-28, which, depending on how you look at it, does, in terms of appearance, look somewhat similar to the Apache, I don't know if a premium Apache will become available or not. We'll just have to wait and see in that regard, but you never know. Which, assuming they don't add a premium Apache, I'll probably just stick with the Ka-50 for now and maybe buy an American premium later. Assuming they even add a rank 7, or, oh my lord, rank 6 premium for the Americans. But anyway, the issue, what I was going to bring at hand was, I kind of got a little off topic, so sorry about that, is this. When the original helicopters came out last year, they costed $40 each, and they were somewhat limited in their armament loadouts. Like, for example, neither the Mi-24 or the UH-1 had access to air-to-air missiles. Air-to-ground missiles don't count because they're primarily intended for air-to-ground use, and plus they're mouse-guided. Although now, with the Bkack missiles on the Ka-50, you can, if you aim them carefully, kind of use them as anti-aircraft missiles. It's just kind of a little hit or miss in that regard, and that's assuming you can get them close and that the enemy plane doesn't maneuver away. But I'll definitely try to figure out how to get them to lock by themselves. But anyhow, fast forward to today, you look at the Ka-50, the Eurocopter Tiger, probably even the G-Lynx, and the I forget what the Italian helicopter is called. I'll just call it the International. Those cost just $10 more! So, honestly, War Thunder, if you're watching this, which would be nice, I'd like to ask this question in all fairness. Is it really worth having these lower tier helicopters, which pale in comparison to these new awesome modern helicopters, really deserve to cost only $10 less? Should they maybe cost $20 less instead? I don't know. That's just my opinion, because it's not like aircraft or tanks where their differences changes are minor, at least compared to the helicopters. I mean, you're comparing a helicopter with no flares, no anti-aircraft missiles, to other helicopters that do. If I launch an air-to-air missile against a helicopter that has no flares or countermeasures whatsoever, he might as well just J out and deny the kill, because he just does not stand a chance against me. So, yeah, it's really interesting to see the direction that War Thunder is going with these helicopters. Don't get me wrong, I am really glad that they're adding the Ka-50. I'm liking it a lot so far, and I'm curious to see how it will perform on the live server. And then, of course, once I figure out how to get the Bkack missiles to auto-lock. Because personally, I never figured that out. But in the near future, I will definitely experiment with that once the Ka-50 is added, because as far as I know, I don't think the Mi-24V with its air-to-ground missiles have the ability to laser lock like the Bkack missiles or the Hellfire missiles, for example. I'll just have to wait and see how that goes. So the next thing I want to talk about in regards to the helicopter EC matchmaking, because as I mentioned, there's the issue with advanced helicopters fighting pardon the expression, ancient helicopters, how that could be solved. Well, I understand their intent when they may kind of not hide behind a paywall. That's not right. They hid the helicopters, like the entry-level helicopters, where you had to get either a rank 5 aircraft or a rank 5 ground vehicle in that particular nation in order to unlock helicopters. My theory is, what if you just lower that rank to 4 or even 3, or maybe just not have it hidden behind at all, to where you can get just the first helicopter as a reserve, and then the other helicopters afterwards you would have to research the old-fashioned way. Why? Probably to encourage more players to play helicopters, in particular helicopter enduring confrontation. That way, more and more people would be interested in playing the helicopters, and then there could be more distinction between the older helicopters and the more modern helicopters. I don't know, that's just me. If you have a potential solution to how to solve that helicopter matchmaker in regards to lower rank helicopters not having to fight higher rank helicopters anymore, do let me know in the comments below. I'm definitely curious to see what idea you would have in that regard. So another area of interest that got my attention yesterday, the day before the making of this video, was, and it was kind of a little, I don't want to say old news, but it had been out for a few days. I guess I just missed the devlog. But that was, they're adding another tree after China? They're adding Sweden to the game, which, don't get me wrong, I like that idea. That's really cool and all, but man, 2 new trees in a row? That's really interesting, I have to say. And what makes me curious is, why are they going all out to add all this new shiny new stuff? Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, and yes, it's that time of year again. Even my cat agrees. Good lord. And that is, they're like, oh, War Thunder's low on money. They need to upgrade their T-80Bs in real life. Something silly like that. And it's like, people, come on. They're a company. So obviously they have to make some money because War Thunder's free to play. And plus, I don't know, some people are like, oh, but they're just greedy, they add all this new stuff. And it's like, well, if you don't like it that much, why do you buy it? I guess some people don't realize that is because, isn't it not good to add some cool new features like the Ka-50 and whatnot, and some cool new toys to play with that some people would like to spend money on? I mean, I wanted the Ka-50. It's the closest thing to the Ka-50 too. Why did I say K-50? Good grief. But that sort of thing. I don't know. Some people, you just can never really fully satisfy. I won't get too deep into that, but you can't satisfy anyone. Just leave it at that. Because honestly, that's just too much of a headache to discuss at length. So I will end that right now. But all in all, I am really curious to see what other features 1.93 will bring to the table. And yes, some more fixes. Because, I mean, obviously, bugs are fixed every patch. But as always, many of us, myself included, like to see extras. Extra bugs fixed. But yeah. But anyway, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying the video so far. Again, sorry for the lack of interesting gameplay with the Ka-50. I never realized this, but dev servers are kind of hard to cover with helicopters. They're okay with aircraft and tanks, but helicopters? I don't know. And plus, I had the same issue that Fly did, as he mentioned in his video. I wanted to try some other custom battles, but for some reason, a lot of people either had passwords or some of them even had helicopters turned off, meaning you couldn't even spawn in a helicopter. Weird stuff like that. So I hope this video for the Ka-50 was helpful for you, and my honest opinion, if you're looking to buy this helicopter, I say do it. This thing will not disappoint. Oh, and one final note, my F4 Phantom video, it's almost finished. I actually redid it from the ground up, and it's even better than the first time I tried it, so stay tuned for that. I'm certainly excited. But anyway, that is it for today's video. Have a great day, stay safe, and peace out.